Hey everybody, Mazer here, and I am back for another episode of The Small Table. This is the Cowboy Bebop Chronicles. I am Mazer, this is Jack, and this is
Video Cheetah.
Video Cheetah, who has just finished watching episode 2, which was called Stray Dog Strut, and it introduces a new character to the show, a Welsh Corgi, that Spike ends up picking up during a failed bounty attempt. Now, last episode I gave the summary. This episode I'd like you to give the summary. So go ahead. What was this episode about?
Okay, so at first, it started off with a TV show. I don't remember what the TV show was called.
Big Shot.
Big Shot, where they told the 300,000 bounty hunters of bounties that they could collect and whether they need to be dead or alive or unharmed or damaged. You know, you get the gist.
I get the gist,
you
yes.
get the gist.
Yes. Yeah, Big Shot is a reoccurring background joke throughout the series. It kind of moves the stories along. Continue.
And the bounty of this episode was Abdul Hakim.
Yes.
Thought I had a burp.
Oh.
He's worth 8 million wulong.
Wulong.
And he's going after a dog. Well, he has a dog in a briefcase, which is kind of unhumane, but you know what? It's whatever. We'll just not talk about that. Not the point. Okay, the dog's in a briefcase,
Right.
And then the briefcase gets stolen,
Right.
and then the person who stole the briefcase goes to a shady pet shop.
Isn't that something funny? A shady pet shop?
I have shady pet store in my notes. It's
Shady pet store. And you like the turtle lady?
Turtle lady. I love the turtle. Stop looking at me like that.
Turtle lady is really funny. I like her. My babies! Oh, my babies! Continue.
They find out it's only worth 2 wulong.
You mean 200?
No, 2.
2 wulong! Go on.
2.
Go on.
Okay.
You are right.
And then Spike goes whoosh and pulls a gun on everybody and is like, "It's over, Hakim." And the guy's like, "I'm not Hakim." And then it was like, "Shut up."
Uh-huh.
And then Spike just left.
Because he finds out the dog is worthless.
Yes.
Or he thinks it's worthless.
Because everyone thinks it's worthless.
Right.
And then...
Watch the table. Go on.
And then... Hakim shows up and then he goes whoosh.
He pulls out his gun.
And then he goes, "Give me the dog." And the dog goes whoosh and runs away.
There's the fight on the bridge.
No, that's at the end.
Remember?
No, that's at the end. I'm getting there.
Okay, you're getting there. Go on.
Okay, and then the dog goes whoosh and he runs away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dog keeps running and then Hakim's following the dog and then there's these guys in a truck, dog people or whatever. Okay, so basically what happens is the dog is running away from Hakim and the dog is being chased by Hakim and the dog people, and then Spike joins in, so the dog's being chased by Hakim and the dog people, and then Spike's chasing Hakim.
There's a lot of chasing.
And then Spike and Hakim and the dog lose the dog people.
Right.
And then they end up on a bridge.
Okay.
And then they start fighting and the dog's just sitting there.
He's just licking his paws. He's like, la 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 la.
Like that.
Just like that. Like this.
Like that.
He doesn't care.
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
Continue.
And then a boat goes whoosh because they're on a bridge over water. So a boat goes whoosh, right? And then the dog goes whoosh and then jumps to the boat, and then Hakim jumps after the boat, and Spike jumps after
Hakim.
Spike jumps after Hakim.
Right.
And then the dog goes, okay, so it goes, the dog goes whoosh.
Whoosh.
Hakeem goes whoosh and falls into a crab tank, and then Spike goes whoosh, and then the dog goes whoosh onto Spike's face.
Right.
And then the boat goes whoosh, and then Spike and the dog go pff.
And
then Spike's like, this is why I hate pets.
because he comes out of the water with the dog on his head like this.
Jack.
And the dog is just standing on.
And then he goes, arf.
Can you go arf, Jack? Is he going to go? No, he's not. And then Spike picks him up, and he's like, this is why I don't like pets. Yeah, I love you too. Right, go on.
Okay, and then they went into Spike's little red ship, which took them to the Bebop.
Right.
And then Jack came up with this plan to use the dog as bait for Hakeem, so they can get so they could capture Hakeem and get the 8 million wulong.
Right.
Using the dog as bait.
And Spike's the famous dog walker now.
He's the famous bounty hunter and dog walker. And then the dog people are back, and they're like, well, we have a dog whistle, and that's the only option we have. And then everyone's like, but it's gonna attract attention. And then the driver was like, I don't care, it's our only option. We need him back. And then so they do a dog whistle, and then the famous dog walker loses the dog.
Spike loses the dog. Terrible dog walker.
Honestly,
Very
I've never
bad.
lost him.
No, you have not. I've never lost him. Have we ever lost you?
We did a test today, and we let go of his leash. He went like 2 feet and then kind of just looked at us and got really mad at us.
Yeah, he stopped and was like, come on, guys, I want my walk.
We
can't walk if you don't hold the leash.
And then he wouldn't come to us.
Yeah, he just stood there waiting.
And looked at us very angrily.
Yeah, Jack is very strange. If you drop the leash and he realizes it, he won't move. He's like, oh, the leash is not moving, so I won't move. Right there. I guess I'm holding you now. All right, so they use the dog whistle, and all the dogs...
And then all the dogs go whoosh.
Right.
And after all the dogs go whoosh, Hakeem steals a recently married couple's car. That's kind of rude. They just got married.
He punched the guy out, too.
He punched him on his wedding day.
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 All right, and then what happens?
And then, Hakeem is in the car, he's driving, and Spike's just running. And the dog people try and use a net. And the dog people try to use a net to capture the dog, but the dog's smart.
He's very smart.
And he goes whoosh, and all the other dogs go.
Right, so he dodged the net.
Uh-huh.
But what does Hakeem do? Hakeem
then steals the car, and he's driving, and then Spike's just running, and he hits Spike with his car.
He ran Spike over, yeah. Which made Spike very upset. Spike got very angry.
He got very upset. I mean, I would understand. I wouldn't want to get hit by a car.
But what does he do to the corgi? And then he goes, psst.
Yeah, he goes, psst. See, it's a different kind of perfume that makes you go blah.
So
makes him go blah.
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 Okay. He knocks out the corgi.
Yes,
Continue.
the corgi. Who everyone still thinks is worthless besides the dog people and Hakeem.
Right.
Ow.
So
Hakeem's driving on a bridge, and the dog people are driving after Hakeem, and then Spike gets in his spaceship and is now in a spaceship. So there's 2 cars in a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dog realizes what's happening and then gets on the steering wheel and starts pressing buttons.
Okay, which is the first time we actually see how smart he really is.
Yeah.
Like, he understands what all the buttons do.
No.
Well, he knows that they do something.
He's trying to mess Hakeem up.
Right.
But think about it. If there's a dog on your steering wheel, you can't really drive.
No, you can't. Smart dog. So what happens next?
So then the doors open,
Mm-hmm.
And the dog goes whoosh again into the water, but Spike goes whoosh and gets the dog, and then Hakeem and the dog people go poof, and then they go poof,
and crash into
the lake.
the police station.
Police station?
Yeah. Remember at the end they said,
oh yeah, because
they landed on
they land in the police station.
Yes.
Okay, so they land in the police. What are we, evil? I've been waiting for you.
I have been waiting for this review for quite some time.
I was gonna do it with Chewie, but
I don't know where he
left
went.
me.
He walked out.
He
I
left
continue.
me.
So they crashed.
So they crash, and then you just see Spike and the dog at Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the show comes back on, and you find out it's a data dog, meaning it's not a real dog.
It's a super genius dog.
They messed with his mind.
They did. So he's super smart.
So he is a dog, but they messed with his mind.
They messed with his mind.
They messed with his mind.
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 With his mind. So at the very end, what happens with...
And then they say Hakeem turned himself in when he really just crashed into the police station. Everybody went and got him.
Right. And what does the dog do at the end? You find out... We find out it's a data dog.
Oh, and then the dog gets up on the table. Like, kind of like that, but like on all fours and not just his head.
Yeah.
And then goes whoosh and splashes water on Spike. And Spike's like, this is why I hate pets and kids.
And then, but Jet's like, you brought the dog here.
And then Jet's like, you brought the dog though. And Spike's like, shut up.
And that's how the episode ends.
Yes.
Okay. So, a little bit of trivia. We talked about this during it. First of all, this episode introduces a character named Hakeem.
Abdul Hakim.
Abdul Hakim, who is a very big guy.
Yes,
He's like huge.
He's very tall.
Like he grabs that one guy by the face, and his hand covers the whole face.
He was walking through a door, and he's just whoosh.
Yeah, he had to duck under the door.
You
Now,
had to do that.
I do. Oh, not these doors, but there are. Which is funny because if you look at his profile when they show his wanted photo, you say he's 6'2". That's how tall I am. But they made him like 7 feet. Now we talked about this. Abdul Hakim is actually based off Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is a basketball player who was really big and popular during the 70s and 80s. And his character design, which I showed you, was from a Bruce Lee movie. I believe it's called The Game of Death. Don't quote me on that. I'm not really up to date on my Bruce Lee films. But basically, if I know the story right, Bruce Lee has to go to an island to save someone. He has to fight people on different levels of this tower. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is on one of the towers. And I showed you part of the fight. It was like the huge size difference. And this is something I wanted to bring up to you last episode, but it made more sense to talk about this episode because it is a homage to that movie. Spike's fighting style is very similar to Bruce Lee. He does a lot of quick, swift punches, and he moves around a lot. And we actually find out more about his fighting style in another episode, which is really cool. Yeah, we meet our next character of the Bebop, which is the dog.
There's a doctor.
Oh, yeah, the doctor that Spike speaks to. Now, he's a one-time character. We don't see him anymore.
Oh.
But what it does tell you is Spike has talked to a lot of people. And, has a lot of contacts. Now, what's interesting is the guy who Hakeem beat up was the plastic surgeon. Spike knows a plastic surgeon.
Hakeem beat up Spike's plastic surgeon.
What do you think? We're going to find out that Spike has had... There's something interesting about Spike.
Is it his hair?
No, it's not his hair. Another Bruce Lee reference. Do you remember when Spike is getting information? He gets these nunchucks and he starts swinging them. He goes, Way of the Dragon. that was Bruce Lee's weapon of choice, was the nunchuck. So you already get to see how Spike is mimicking Bruce Lee's fighting style by showing off. Okay.
Look what you did!
It's because my legs have to be like spread for the table to fit. You're good, Jack. You're all right. Yeah, so this one's the first episode that really pushes the idea of the influence on Spike's character, which is Bruce Lee. This one had a little more of the humor that I mentioned. There's a lot of strange humor in Cowboy Bebop.
The old people, the 3 old men weren't in that.
They were not in there, but there was a running joke that I always enjoyed, and that is the driver of the truck always says, "Seems that way." Mm-hmm. That data dog is very important to us. Seems that way. We need to get him back. Seems that way.
That's annoying.
But
I don't enjoy that.
That's the humor of Cowboy. There's a lot of like just small, tiny, random moments like that, where a character might repeat something, or it's a reoccurring character, or it's a running gag. And in this episode, it was the "seems that way." We got to see the Turtle Woman.
I really like her.
I do too. She's really funny.
She has a turtle on her head.
Yeah, and then we also got to see Mars for the first time. Mm-hmm. Now you notice the whole planet is not a city; it's small sections. Like it was a gated region. So they had
where we are.
Yeah, it's like they had a terraform small spots of Mars, and it's not as pretty or extravagant
as people think. That is what makes me think even more Spike was of the poor people at Mars.
You think he was a poor person in Mars?
Yeah, because what he said in the first episode.
That's
only for the... Did you just bite me?
It's only it's for the rich. Mars is nice if you're rich.
Yeah, but
we only got to see one part of Mars. We haven't seen the other cities yet.
But think about it. You wouldn't know how poor people are if you're rich.
Right.
If you were born rich. And Spike's not rich.
No, he and Jet are almost always broke, which is really funny. It's one of my favorite anime tropes.
But think about it. If he was born rich, then why would he, one, be a bounty hunter? Well, I can understand being a bounty hunter if you're rich. But why would you almost always be broke if you were born into a rich family?
Right.
Unless you chose to be cut off from that.
Now we're 2 episodes in. How many bounties have they ever collected so far?
Well, none.
Exactly. So let's do that. We'll do a bounty count at the during our podcast. So far,
I don't have
the first guy, Asimov.
He killed. His girlfriend killed him.
And then she died by the police.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
And then Hakeem crashes into the police department, so no bounty there. But they did get a dog. So they could always eat the dog. Spike even says that at the end. Let's just salt him and eat him.
Do they actually?
No, they don't eat the dog.
Do they get rid of him?
No, it's a main character.
He's a main character.
He's a main character, and you'll see more of the corgi as the series goes on.
That makes me happy.
Anything else you want to discuss? We had some more jazz music. This time it was vocal during the chase scene. You had someone singing during the first chase scene when Spike was figuring everything out, so we had some good music as always. You got to see more of Spike's fighting style.
Not really.
Actually, you're right.
Hakeem just being really bad at fighting.
Well, no.
It was more of Spike on the defensive.
Yeah, so you mean Hakeem's very good at fighting.
He's just bad against Spike.
Yeah, it just shows you how good Spike is as a fighter. So, tomorrow, or next week, we will be watching episode 3, Honky Tonk Woman, which is...
Not funny.
It introduces another character from the opening credits. It's the woman that you noticed.
The woman in the opening credits.
Yes, and we'll discuss her after we see the episode, no spoilers. Watch her tail. She's going to knock over your soda. So on a scale of 1 through 10, how would you rate the first episode? We didn't do this last time. How would you rate the one with Asimov?
Throughout it, I think it was like 8 or 9.
An 8 or 9?
I don't like how the people died, though.
Okay, so an 8?
I think the ending's probably like a 7, but all of it together is probably like a 9.
A 9?
A 9 or a 10.
Now what about episode 2, Stray Dog Strut?
10.
A 10?
It has a dog in it.
It has lots of dogs.
It has a turtle lady.
It has dogs. There was an ostrich.
There was an ostrich.
I saw a monkey. There was a little bird that...
There were multiple birds.
One bird could tell the future.
Yes. It's a tiny bird.
Named Pico.
Very tiny.
Very tiny. Little blue bird. Like this
tiny
big.
Boy.
Here you go. Oh. Just like that. Yeah, so you enjoyed this one though.
I did.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
I don't like how they aren't getting bounties. I don't like how... Okay, crashing into a police station...
You would think that somebody would say to the police, hey, these guys caused them to get caught. Pay them.
That, or they just walk out of... He's a big dude. He could easily crush the police.
Well, they have guns. He does not have a gun.
Okay, yeah, and when he first got attacked in that bathroom stall, they had guns.
But they weren't trained police officers. They were just scientists.
Okay, your point?
I'm just saying, there was a lot of police around him. Maybe Hakeem comes back.
Are you hinting at something?
No, not at all. He doesn't come back. But, so there you have it. Your first reactions to Stray Dog Strut. 10 out of 10 because of all the animals. Animals, okay. And then I believe...
Not only was Bebop episode full of animals, our episode is full of animals.
We have animals everywhere. Chewy's right here. Muse is right here. Jack is here.
Chewy was in my lap for a little bit.
He was.
Stop biting me.
So, there you have it. All right, so that's
episode. He bit me and then said sorry by giving me a kiss.
Oh,
that's like, are you okay?
She's good. But yeah, so this episode again, a lot of Bruce Lee references. That was the little bit of trivia for everybody.
You're so soft.
And introduction of a new character. And next week we'll be watching Honky Tonk Woman. I am Mazer. Thank you for joining us on our podcast. And this is
Video Cheetah.
And we will see you all next time. Bye.